Hey guys, Ronnie here. I got a question I want to ask, and this is a serious question. I want to ask people. I'm not looking for an argument. I'm not looking for debate. I just simply want you to state your beliefs or your opinion. But why is it that people so hate the doctrine of election and predestination? I want to know why people hate that. And the reason I'm asking this question is because many of you guys know when I was in the institutional church system, I was in an independent Baptist church. Now, for those of you who don't know, most independent Baptist churches are dispensational, and they hold to Arminian free will theology. Now, what I mean by dispensationalism is it's ironic to me that I just don't see how those two doctrines jibe with one another. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. In the independent Baptists, we were taught dispensational theology. Now, one of the things that dispensationalism believes is that the Jews are God's elect. They're God's chosen people. In other words, God chose the Jews, and that for whatever reason, now the independent Baptists, they're not consistent really in their beliefs on that, in my opinion, because while they do believe, on one hand, they will say, well, yeah, God chose the Jews. That's God's chosen people. But on the other hand, they'll have to say, but the Jew has to choose Christ in order to be saved, which kind of contradicts itself and absolutely makes no sense to me whatsoever. But nevertheless, you can really get an argument and a fight going when you deal with someone who holds to dispensationalism and they're Arminian. What I mean by that is, while it is absolutely offensive to them to tell them that God chooses people individually, God elects them to salvation through faith in Christ. They'll say, no, that's not true. Man has a free will, and it's man who makes the choice. You know, the one who chooses whether or not he goes to heaven or hell, or whether or not he's redeemed, that's man's choice, and that's what they believe. It's absolutely, in their mind, God is unjust if he predestines and elects individuals to salvation. Yet, on the other hand, they hold to the fact, or they hold to the belief that God elected a specific race of people, which in my opinion is equally offensive if you want to say God doesn't have a right to do as he pleases. I just don't understand. I don't understand. Maybe someone can make that make sense to me. How can you believe that God elects one race, making him therefore basically a racial supremacist in your view? He can elect one people to be his chosen people, but yet when it comes to the church, God doesn't get a choice in the matter. Am I the only one that finds a great contradiction in that pattern of belief? And if so, where did that teaching come from? How did it get into the church? How did it infiltrate the church? Who brought in the idea that the Jews were God's chosen people? Where did that idea come from? And who is it that so adamantly opposes the idea that Gentiles could be the elect as well? It is something to think about. Again, leave your comments down below. I'm not looking to argue. I'm not looking to fight. I'll leave the comments open for as long as the discussion is kept civil. Once again, this is not a debate, Calvinism versus Arminianism, or election predestination versus free will. This is simply a question. How can you say that God has no right to elect a person, but say the same God has a right to select a race? one people to be his chosen. Just doesn't make sense. Thank you guys for watching.